So Masoud Hashemian, Esfahani, please, my friend, the floor is yours.
Okay, I can see everybody or not?
Yeah.
Everybody are in the meeting now?
Yes.
Thank you. In the name of God, first of all, I want to say hello and welcome to esteemed experts, ladies and gentlemen, for joining to our virtual meeting. Second, I appreciate to Brussels Energy Club and especially to Dr. Marat Terterov because his encouragement and providing me this opportunity to share some fact and idea as a neutral expert with you today. And so my special thanks to Madam Nadezhda Kokotovich for her intensive effort to arranging today meeting in the short time. I want to start my presentation. As you know, the title of my presentation is Iranian gas trade vision in light of regional supply competition. You know that Iran position geographically is the strategic situation, and you know that Iran has more than 15 neighbors country that at least 12 of them have oil and gas potential for export and production. This presentation arranged and prepared by my colleague, Mr. Dr. Suleiman Ghasemian, that is Head of Economic Affairs Department of International Affairs in Ministry of Petroleum of Iran. I part this presentation in two sections. One section I want to pay to global gas market trends and outlook. Maybe this is very now for you. You know, everybody are experts and know about this part. And without this introduction, I cannot arrive to second part. The second part is Iran gas export advantages and visions. As you know, in the next decade, but the study of IEA and World Energy Outlook in 2020, the share of renewable and gas in the global primary energy basket will increase. And as you see, yet the share of the crude oil and coal is upper than the other primary energy demand. The gas increasing about 1% and renewable increasing about 5% in the next decade. But the changes in the primary energy demand by fuel and region in the stated policies is, as you know, by the region. You can see the United States and European Union decrease their consumption of the coal, and renewable and gas be increasing in their share. But most increasing is in the region in China and India and Southeast Asia and Middle East and maybe this. But for European Union, demand of all primary energy decrease except renewable energy.
Masoud, sorry, apologies. Can you just go to the next slide, because you're still on the first slide? So just go to your next slide, please.
Next slide. Yeah.
Because you're still on the opening slide. So just go to your next slide, because you're describing now information on your second slide.
Second slide.
Yes, we can only see your first slide, but just if you can show us your second slide.
You go to the projection option. You go to the projection option. You know, the below, under the your slide, there is a symbol in the right side. So click there.
The okay, he knows what to do. I just so Masoud, if you can go to your next slide and you can click on expand slide like you did yesterday. So
well, back to slides. What?
You are on your first slide. It's the first slide at the moment. So go to the next slide. Yeah. That's it. Very good. Very good.
It's okay.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Excellent.
Excellent. I can continue.
Please do. Please do, Masoud. Yes.
Okay. And this slide show that gas demand in emerging market and developing economics bounces back quickly, while demand in mature markets barely recovers to pre-crisis levels. The major part of gas demand in the industry sector belongs to petrochemical industry. Therefore, the first sector that consume more and more gas is industry, and especially in petrochemical sectors in future. The gas global market trends show that the shifting energy demand pulls to Asia Pacific and the Middle East, the pivotal role of gas in the world's primary energy basket, and continued growth in shale gas production in United States, at least until 2030. LNG dominance over the pipeline in global gas trade, especially with the arriving the United States, Australia, and Canada maybe for LNG market. But we have changing the gas pricing system from relying on crude oil price and long-term gas export contract to a competitive mechanism based on gas supply and demand. In this environment of the competition, Iranian gas exports have some challenges. The first challenges is about the growth of the US LNG export to various markets. Growth of Russian gas production and increase of its exports in the form of pipelines and LNG to Asia Pacific and Middle East. Australia's pivotal role in the South and East Asian LNG market, growth of gas production and increase of Qatar LNG exports from South Pashtun field, strengthening Turkey's position as a regional gas corridor and reducing bargaining power to continue of cut off Iranian gas exports to Turkey. These are some challenges. The increase of Iraq's gas production and decline of Iran's bargaining power to continue or cut off Iranian gas export to Iraq. Existence gas production capability or capacity in the Eastern Mediterranean, Israel, Lebanon, Cyprus, and Greece. This is some challenges now, but it is very soon maybe happen. And this maybe Saudi Arabia gas production grows and consequently rise of its petrochemical products exports on base of the gas feedstock. ambiguous prospects of lifting Iran's sanctions in the medium and long term, and continuation of increasing trend of domestic gas consumption in Iran. And this is the very bad challenges for Iranian gas export, because the demand of the gas in domestic demand is very high in Iran. But we have some opportunity in this space for the export. One is the significant growth in gas demand from China, India, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, and other East Asia and Middle East economies. And this shows that yet we have a potential for exports. Maintain and improve the position of gas in the global energy market, growth of gas production in Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan, and possibility of transit or swap to different markets through Iran. We have this experience about 2 years ago with Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan. We have a contract for swap the gas from Turkmenistan to Azerbaijan, and I think it's up to 5 or up to 7 million cubic meter per day. They do this contract. Possibility of exporting natural gas to India by pipeline, LNG and CNG from the south of Iran. Possibility of exporting LNG to China with the investment Chinese companies through the establishment of gas liquefaction facilities, and the possibility of exporting natural gas to Pakistan via pipeline and further to China, and so to the Bangladesh, because we have arranged 2 pipelines from this, and I show you in this section. In this section, I want to pay to advantage and vision about the potential of gas. First of all, we must attention to intrinsic advantage of Iran's gas export. You know that Iran is the first country in the world in terms of total oil and gas reserves, 350.6 billion barrel equivalents of the oil, crude oil. Second country in the world in terms of gas reserve, more than 32 TCM. First country in the region in the terms of gas trunk lines. We have more than 36,000 kilometer trunk lines. And, this trunk lines is more than 42 and 52 dimension. Fourth country in the world in terms of the gas transmission network. We have a very vast network of the gas pipeline, about 380,000 kilometers. More than 99% of our city consume the gas, and more than the 90% of our village, so they have a gas. Low cost of Iranian gas production and economic efficiency of investment in petrochemical sectors in Iran by the gas feedstock, and excellent geographical status in terms of playing the role of gas corridor in the region of Southwest Asia and Middle East. You can show this fact by this picture. You can see the potential of Iran, and I don't want to explain more. And this is the Iran oil and gas infrastructure map. In the left hand, you can see the potential of the trunk lines of gas pipeline. You see that we can receive from anywhere of our neighbors country and export to other neighbors country. As you know and tell you, we receive the gas from the Saras and the other point from the Turkmenistan, and we consume in the north of Iran and swap the gas with Azerbaijan. recently, and we have a contract with MOU with the Turkey in 2008 that we allow them to transit 32 million cubic meter per day from Turkmenistan to Turkey. Instead of we can allow to 32 million cubic meter export to the Europe through the Turkey. And this is the potential that we are explaining more and more. This map is very important. This is the potential of Iran gas trunk lines that show you the potential of more than this trunk lines, more than 100 million cubic per day can transit from anywhere in the north and the south of Iran to the other points. As I told you, we have this position. We have a long-term gas import from Turkmenistan. Recently, we have some problem with our neighbors, but we can find a solution friendly for solve these problems. But through these problems, we have a swap through the Iran Turkmen gas to the Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan as a net importer some days import 10 million cubic meter gas per day, and we have the export about 42 million cubic meter per day potential to the Turkey from the south of Iran, and so from the Azerbaijan and Armenia, we have a contract with Armenia, so swap with the electricity. 1 million cubic meter per day we export to Armenia, and so about export to the Iraq, and we have a negotiation with the Kuwait. Through the sea we export Kuwait, and is under negotiation. We have a negotiation with the UAE, and we have an export to UAE sometimes, and we have a negotiation to Oman about this potential. And as I told you, we have a proposal from the Egypt that they want to is Seyed company. The name of the company was the Seyed, that is Indian company that cooperate with the Egypt. They want to deep water or shallow water make the pipeline through the Oman Sea to India, and it is can go to the Bangladesh. So, and we have planned the Pakistan pipeline. We had a plan for the IPI, Iran, Pakistan, and India pipeline, and we named this pipeline as a peace pipeline, I think. And we do our work, and we complete this pipeline as I get 7. It is a pipeline, trunk pipelines more than 52-inch dimension. And so we have a potential and arrange to receive the gas from Turkmenistan and allow the Turkmenistan to participate in the JASC or Chabahar petrochemical project, or they then transfer their gas to the LNG and export by themselves. It's a potential for Turkmenistan, but they stick interest to the TAPI, I think. But it is some offer that we many times speak with the Turkmens neighbors and friends. And so we arranged the pipeline to the Afghanistan from the network to the Afghanistan. You know that recently the Chinese railway through the Herat, past the Herat and received to the Iran. And beside this pipeline, beside this railway, we can start to build up the gas pipeline to Afghanistan. This is shortly show the our market. We already export to Turkey. This is operating. We have a Turkmenistan gas swap with Azerbaijan. They stop now because some problem in Azerbaijan. And we have a gas electricity barter, as I told you, with Armenia. It's very shortly so you. Imports from Turkmenistan, we are under negotiation. We have some problem, but I think it's can be solved by cooperation between two countries and export especially. And we have two contracts to export the gas to Baghdad and Basra in Iraq. We concluded but not operated the gas contract with Pakistan. We plan to export the gas to Oman, European Union, India, Kuwait, and Far East Asia. This is the projects, and this is the potential as I want to talk about. This potential, if you remember, some older experts maybe remember like me, excuse me, that we are net exporter in the age of the Shah in 1972 or up to 1978. We are net exporter to the Europe, and daily we exported more than 50 million cubic meter, 50 million cubic meter per day export to the pipeline of the Russia to Ukraine and to Putin-Garten. And already we have a potential to export the gas to the through the Azerbaijan to Georgia or through the Armenia to Georgia. Both of them is under negotiate, and we can transfer the gas to the CNG and LNG and export to Bulgaria and other countries. But this is some facts that I show you. And this is the Iran-Oman gas export project that I explained to you. Oman need more than 70% gas for domestic use, and we have a contract with their free capacity LNG of their plants. About 30% of gas must be delivered to these plants. The commencement date was 2019 and 2020, but we have some problem. It's postponed this time. And this is the general idea for the potential of gas export through the Turkey. As I told you, and from the Turkey to Albania and we have a contract with the Switzerland for the export daily 5 million cubic meter for the Albanian electricity power plants, and they transfer it to the Switzerland. But some problem between Turkey and the European Union caused that is some problem with this project. And as you can see, the part of this pipeline is not completed yet, and this is the main problem that we have with Turkey. And Turkey tried to save his bargaining power to give any thing that they want to join to European Union. This is the base for the negotiating. But you can see the Russian interest that they complete the Turkish pipeline, and so they complete the North pipeline in the north to the Germany. But as you know, Turkey and Azerbaijan were interested to the Trans-Anatolia pipeline, that is, the name is TANAP, and before this, some country started to Nabucco pipeline, but this stopped by the Turkey and Azerbaijan, I think, because they were very interested to the TANAP. But Iran tried to find another solution, the pipeline from the Iraq, Syria, and Cyprus through the Mediterranean to the Greece and to the Italy, or through the Adriatic and go to the European central country in Austria, Germany, and others, Switzerland, and especially in the Bhutan Garden. This is the Persian pipeline that we arranged, and in 2009, I think, three Ministry Petroleum of Iran, Ministry Petroleum of Iraq and Syria, they signed an agreement for this pipeline, and we arranged the other map for this pipeline will go through the Adriatic Sea and the Central Europe, and from the other side we have some pipeline that is arranged to Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Greece, and without past the Cyprus. This is some idea that I want to share with you. That is a potential that Iran has for this export chance that you can see, and I want to share with you this potential that we have. There's some high priorities for Iran gas export is the expansion of exploratory activities. You know that by the study in Nixon Study Center by Mr. Jeffrey Camp in 1970, he announced that Iran more than 60% of the gas fields cannot explore yet in 1970. And this is the very priority for us. Increased gas production is one of the priority of us. Diversification of gas export markets, diversification gas transit routes, developing a gas petrol refinery based on the feedstock of gas, and attracting of foreign investors and international companies based the change of the political situation. Some opportunity for investment in Iran for the gas trade projects is the potential of Iran for receiving a gas from the north or anywhere and delivered in the equivalent in the south, east, and west of Iran, so SWAP project. To transit gas from neighbors country in north to Iran to the international markets, as I told you. Participation in LNG plants project in the south of Iran, and export energy from south to Europe and all around the world. We have a famous project in Iran, is Iran LNG. We started it about 15 years ago, and we buy everything from the Germany, but they stopped. I don't know why, because the sanction and other excuse, they stopped, but we pay all the money to them, to the factory, but they stopped everything. Developing of gas petrol refinery in Iranian free zone, especially in Chabahar. I explained to you that we have a potential, that we are ready to share this potential with Turkmenistan, because you know the Turkmenistan already is a landlocked, and we told them that they can use this opportunity that with this pipeline, they can arrive to this complex. We arranged a petrochemical complex in Chabahar, about $15 billion investment for 10 years later to development of the Mokran complex. 17 petrochemical upstream units arranging for this region, more than 30 petrochemical downstream units arranging 4 methanol complex, 4 ammonic complex, 4 urea ammoniac complex, and we decided to provide the gas through this this pipeline from Asaliye to the Chabahar. This is the pipeline that can potential to export to the Pakistan. So for this free zone, we have a tax holiday for 20 years, 25% discount for the feedstock of the gas, and safe and close route for access to Central Asia and Afghanistan market. And one of the main routes in the West Asia, as I told you, it is outside of the Persian Gulf, and this is the potential for you. Key players in Iran gas export vision is some of the countries that they are energy supplier, like Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan, and maybe Kazakhstan that can use the land of Iran for the export of the gas or swap the gas from the north to the south, or from the north to the Turkey and to Europe. The potential for investor, as I told you, in Chabahar special zone and free zone for complex of petrochemical. The potential for pipeline manufacturers is that the Iran needs to complete this pipeline from Turkmenistan to Iran, or from Iran to Afghanistan and any other side again. And for the traders, this is the main key players that can participate and cooperate with Iran to increase the gas export from the country. This is the vision that we have, and I want to share you as the experts. And this is the potential for all the European Union and East Asia country and our neighbors that we can share with you, and I want to share you. And I'm ready to any question that you have. And thank you for your kind attention to my presentation.